Hey guys, this is the Jack and Jill bathroom. So, it's not huge. My son has one bedroom, my girls have the other bedroom. Right now they're pretty young, so it works out pretty good. That's my son right now, if you can hear him. So, the big problem with this bathroom is that we have very little lighting. So I want to put a bathroom fan up here, and I want to put 2 recessed lights over the tub. That way, there'll be plenty of lighting, and everyone should be pretty happy. Hey Clark. So, are you ready to join in? Yeah, come on in. So, this bathroom just isn't working for us. So, we're gonna F it up, right?
Yeah.
Well, here we go with another remodeling job. So, of course, at the beginning of every job, when you live in your house, you gotta take everything out of the room that you don't want to get dusty or dirty or whatever. So here I am, removing everything out of the bathroom that the kids shove in there. Toys, toothpaste, toothbrushes, you name it. It's kind of fun seeing the room get empty, except for this part. I hate taking shower curtains up and down. It's annoying. Every little freaking hook inside these tiny little small holes. Ugh, no thank you. Hi.
Is it still watching?
Is it still filming, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. So guess what we're gonna do today?
We're doing with those.
Yeah, we're gonna put a fan here, and we're gonna put 2 lights right there, so it won't be dark in the shower anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we flip that switch, guess what happens?
What?
Boom!
All of the lights.
All of it lights up and the fan turns on, and it won't be stinky. Good?
Yeah, but are we going to do it today?
Right now. Here's Clark helping me out. He's 6 years old. He really enjoys being near me, no matter what I'm doing around the house. It's really difficult actually to have the kids walk around and the cats and the dog, but this is part of the reason why I make this channel, to show people that sometimes it's not always that easy, but it's always worth it. He'll learn a skill just by watching. So will my daughters. And what do I gain out of it? Good memories. Okay, this is how switches work. They basically just transport power from one wire to the other wire. The switch just turns the power off and on, basically connecting one wire to the other inside this little box. So, when the switch is in the off position, the light is off. But when you flip the switch, the light turns on. Pretty simple operation. If you're gonna do this yourself, you really wanna know which wire brings in the power and which wire takes the power away to the light. Typically, the wire that brings in the power is called the line wire, and the one that takes the power away is called the load wire. That's pretty much the lingo, but you don't really need to know it. All you need to know is be careful when you cut them, be careful when you're working on them, unless you turn the power off to the whole house.
No, because you will be scared, right?
Right.
Because the fan light will just turn off, right?
Right. Okay, we got those wires cut. Just to be on the safe side, you want to put something that's protective over them. So these are called wire nuts. They have a little metal filament on the inside that screws onto the end of the wires, which then makes sure that they stay electrically safe. So you just put it on, twist it a little bit, and it doesn't go anywhere. Do that with both wires just to be on the safe side, especially if you're not sure which one is the line and which one is the load. Alright, bathroom fans nowadays come pretty much with everything you need to install them, whether in a retrofit installation or whether they're a brand new installation. So, as you can see, you got the box fan, you got the fan itself, you got duct adapters, power adapters, some brackets, some screws and the power plug adapters, and then of course the actual housing that you're going to see once it's up on the ceiling. So here we go. I'm going to start cutting a hole and putting in the ducting from the outside to the inside so we can get this thing lit up. So I'm going to wire up the fan and the lights over the shower with one switch. That way, when the kids flip the single switch in the bathroom, the fan will always turn on, so will the shower lights. Some people have mentioned to me, why didn't I put in two switches, one for the fan, one for the lights, or even separate the two sets of lights from each other from the fan? I've done that before in bigger bathrooms, but I think it's best for kids just to have one single switch. That way, they don't get confused, and furthermore, the bathroom will never be as stinky as it would otherwise be. Now before we start cutting up the ceiling, it's a good idea to have some eye protection and some mask protection. Reason being is drywall dust can be pretty invasive on the lungs, and the eyes too. Burns a lot. All right, this is actually a pretty important step. You want to make sure that you orient or turn your fan box around so that it connects to the fan duct appropriately. In other words, it's got to face where the duct is coming in from the outside of the wall. Otherwise, the duct has to be twisted around, the box too. It's a mess. Don't do that. All right, there's actually two main parts to a bathroom fan, the inside and the outside. The outside part is basically the tube that takes all the stinky, smelly stuff to the outside of the house. So what you need for that is the tube, the outside register, which connects to the tube, and a hole saw to cut through the side of the house to get all that tube through. Okay, these ducts are simply amazing. When you buy them, they only look like they're 3 feet long, but they expand to 10 feet. You can bend them, form 90-degree angles with them, get them around some difficult joists up in your attic, but they just do the job. And they're pretty rigid even after you stretch them out. I'm getting the register here attached to the end of the duct, and then I'm tightening it down with the clamp. Then all I have to do is send in the other end over to above where the fan box is inside the bathroom. Also, if you're wondering what that gray, weird-looking rectangle is by my head, well, that's a stucco patch. I took out a bathroom window that led into my girl's bedroom. That was kind of weird because, well, the girls just don't sleep inside of a bathroom. So, a little while back, I effed that up too. I'm going to end up painting the wall soon enough, but not at the time of this video, obviously. Wanted to show you guys how these remodeling cans work. They're pretty easy to install, but they do take a little bit of know-how. So, they have 4 little pins right here, little black pins, and once you get it into the hole, you just pop them in and they tighten themselves right onto the drywall. But before that, you got to wire them up. The way you do it is you get the wire inside, and they have these neat little, I don't even know what to call them, but they're just like push pin connectors. So you strip your wire, slide it right into there. In this case, it's pretty darn easy to understand. White on white, black on black, bare copper on bare copper. You close it, slide it into the hole, press these out, and your light fixture is ready to go. You see, you just slide the wire right into there. I already have stripped the wires, black on black. It slides right into there and doesn't come out. You do the same thing with the white and the bare copper to bare copper. Tuck it all inside neat, nice and neat. Put on the cover plate. And it's pretty much ready to be installed. Now you'd think that me trying to teach people how to put in a can light, I'd tell you about what type of wire I used. Nah, who needs that info? Well, just so you know, I used what's called a Romex wire. Now, okay, that's the brand. But I used a 14-2 with ground Romex. What does that mean? There's two 14 gauge wires with the bare copper 14 gauge as well through a plastic housing. It kind of functions like a extension cord. Don't forget to attach it to wood or studs if you're going to be longer than about 4 feet. Sure.
Papa, look.
What, Mom?
I can see my hand.
Don't put your hand in front of there, please.
Why?
Because?
Soxy shoes. And I can't stand on this.
No, you can't.
Because they have soxy shoes.
Yep. You're not wearing shoes. You need to go wear shoes before you can come in here. This is where I connect all the wires together. You take one wire from the existing light box above the sink, one wire from each of the can lights, and put them inside the fan box. Well, you connect all the white wires together, all the black wires together, and all the bare copper wires together. And that eventually also will get connected to a plug that is provided by the company that makes the fan box. That plug will actually power up the actual fan motor inside of the fan box housing. Okay, just like we did before, what we do is we pigtail it. This is the bare aluminum in this case. We join it to a bare copper. It doesn't have to be too long, just enough to join up. When you got 2 wires or less, you want to use a yellow wire nut, one of these guys, and put them together. Forms a nice tight bond that way. You just hold them together like that. Hold them together like that and just twist. And that coiled metal inside cuts into both wires and it will perform a very nice, tight, solid bond. Because it's copper, because it's aluminum, shift that to the inside a little bit. Besides, you're going to want all your wires out of the way because the GFCI plug is a lot thicker than the old one. Okay, so your bare copper goes on the green. Your whites, after you pigtail them, will go on the silver plug, and your black lines wires will go on the, I guess, golden plug. aluminum wire is very brittle. The heating and cooling cycle of electrical power going through it tends to make it even more brittle. So as you can see, after I stripped the wire and tightened the wire nut on, I had to redo that because simply tightening the wire nut broke the white wire. So no big deal. I had enough wire to play with. I just had to take the wire nut off, strip it again, and retighten it. Nice and tight. Now, you're probably wondering what this yellow tape is around the GFCI socket. So what that is it can also act as a switch or a ground fault circuit interruption for other plugs. So if you want to wire other plugs with regular common plugs, you can put them being fed off of these two. What ends up happening is if any one of those trip, it'll short circuit this plug, this GFCI plug, without short circuiting the circuit in the house. Put those in there. Tighten the plug back in place. Alright, now we just tighten it up, put a switch plate on top, 4 screws, and we're done. Welcome back. So turns out yesterday the battery ran out in the camera, so I didn't get it. I finished the fan though. I did finish the drywall too. That's what the camera didn't get. Don't worry if you missed it, because there's going to be plenty of drywall work in this house. I'm going to be remodeling the entire family room. Insulation, everything, all the walls, new window. Stay tuned for that. Anyhow, fan is done, drywall's patched up, the lights are complete, and everything here is done. So as you can see, the fan here is installed and the drywall is all patched up. I still do need to put in a little bit of paint right there, install the fan, and get it ready to go. Also, the old light fixture, I kept where it was, but we simply just need to hook it up. Let's go. So now we're going to install the lights up in the recessed lining. So these are actually the bulb itself, the whole thing. They're LED. What I really like about these ones, they're pretty cost effective. You can get like a 4-pack from most big box stores around $40 to $50. It's about 10 each. What I really like about these ones is that they fit automatically into the the orange dongles, and the orange dongle has a corresponding orange socket right there. So with that, they can also change your color on them. You can go anywhere from between like a low yellowish to a super blue white light. I'm going to keep them at the middle range at 3,500 Kelvin, and if it's not enough, then we'll up to maybe 5,000 Kelvin. Clark, are you going to help me out?
Yeah.
All right, come up here. Let's come up on the ladder and say hi to everyone. Look
Hi.
right there and say hi.
Hi.
Say, we're going to install lights now.
We're gonna
install lights now.
install lights now.
now we're ready to install the fan inside the fan box. This is the super easy part. All we have to do is get the fan itself, slide it into the spot, and then plug it into the provided plug inside the box. This fan here is really cool because some fans you have to hold it in place and put in a set screw to keep it in there. This one just snaps right in. All right, Clark has brought me the cover. This has 2 springs on the back, and you put them into grooves inside the box, and that's what holds it up to the ceiling. Clark, why don't you turn on the switch to make sure that the fan works?
The switch?
Yep. Keep it on, bud. So, seems like it's working great. We'll go ahead and put this fan in the cover right now.
I'm gonna turn it off.
Okay.
You don't get electrocuted.
Okay. And it just slides right up. Turn it on, bucko. There we go. We got an operating fan. Next will be the lights above the sink.
Can you do it today?
So we want to make sure that the bottom of the glass clears the medicine cabinet mirror. I already measured that to be 23.5 inches. I want a few inches above that. So I just got to make sure the distance from the glass, the bottom of the glass, to the top, which touches the ceiling of the fixture, is less than 23.5 inches. I'm going with about 16 because I want to make sure that the lights continue to light up the whole bathroom. It'll still look pretty good when you see it up there. So what I did, I measured out, that's about 10 3/4 plus about 6 inches. So I have almost 17 inches, which is a few inches less than 23.5, of course. Let's just go ahead and get to building it. Okay, so this is a pretty easy light fixture to install, except that it's kind of cumbersome. There's no bracket or screw or anything that holds this in place, allowing me to tighten up the wire nuts onto the wires of the fixture while I'm doing it. So I just kind of have to do double duty as I'm doing it. It's a little bit of a pain, but hey, she likes the way it looks. So, you want to make sure that these nuts aren't too tight, because if someday you want to replace the fixture, it'll be very difficult. You don't want to damage something that doesn't need to be damaged. But also, you want to make sure that these nuts aren't too loose, because after all, they're going to hold up 3 of these glass covers and 3 light bulbs. So it's got to be on pretty nice and snug. I have a nice LED bulb in here, and I'm going to repeat this process 2 more times. And then we're done.
But
Now what?
Help.
You don't need help. Go ahead.
I can't reach all the way up through the
Just
board.
pull on the tape.
I am.
Pull a little bit harder. And do the other side. Whoa.
This side?
Yeah. Okay guys, so here we have the finished bathroom lights and fan. Up here you can see the 3 down lights now with the glass covers over the bulbs, and they don't get hit by the medicine cabinet anymore. Also, here is a view of the switch and GFCI plug with the cover. Clark was really proud to tighten up that switch plate himself. Up here we have the fan and lights in their full glory. Even with the curtain closed, the bathroom is really well lit. We went from having a dim kids' bathroom to a bright and fresh one in just a matter of about 8 hours. But okay, 2 days overall. It probably took a little while longer having my kid around, but it really wouldn't have been nearly as fun. I'll leave a link in the description for the fan, lights, and other materials if you'd like to buy the same ones I did. Altogether, I spent less than $210 in materials. Look, I'm not some master electrician or contractor. I'm just the dad who's willing to work on his house. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe and like buttons so others can have a good laugh at me too. Hope you enjoy effing up your homes as much as I do. Thanks.